The first adaptation being a 1965 television special, A Charlie Brown Christmas. Notice how the franchise legal name is not in the title. Schultz himself would write the adaptation and would not use the name for the franchise recognition, when adapting the source material utilizing actual children in the casting. Having a Christmas special, the primary conflict involving Charlie Brown's dissatisfaction of the realization of the mainstream commercialism of the holiday as opposed to giving love much like Christ did on this date. Choosing this direction over any other generic holiday plot, there's, oh no, this person hates Christmas. Oh no, Christmas is ruined. Oh yay, Christmas is saved conveniently. Thanks Santa Claus, who canonically exists in this universe. Christmas arguably becoming less of a Christian festival celebrating the birth of Christ after a point, and this Christ Mass special actually involves Christ, the lack of building a conflict.
Night, and lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them.
Something that most child-friendly specials don't do because of the presentation of a religious bias, which is far less marketable, hence to why most religious media is not mainstream. This might have actually been the first Christmas special to question authority about the mass commercialism of the holiday. And the mass commercialism may be common sense now, but this was the 60s, so that might have actually questioned some authority in households, contributing to the post-World War II postmodern idea that everything kinda sucks. Charlie Brown learning to not be upset with the lack of Christ and mass commercialism, and accepting that there's not much he can do, but he himself can still participate in the holiday in good non-capitalistic taste.
Oh well, this commercial dog is not going to ruin my Christmas.
The special was produced under a short period of 6 months, airing on December 9th, 1965, the runtime being cut down for half an hour rather than a full. The half-hour production even being over budget. I imagine there's an alternate timeline where they had an extra half hour, we would have seen the play that the special hypes up, but the simple ending of Charlie Brown learns that there's nothing he can do is actually far more satisfactory than a good or bad play. So that budget reduction actually helped the narrative. And I got licked on the lips by a hyperbole butt once, and for the record, it is disgusting. Director Bill Banderas believed the production was a disaster beyond necessary funding. Adapting the signature art style of the comic would be integral to any animated adaptation due to its simplicity and distinguishability. But unknowingly, adapting a simple material was a benefit for its shoestring budget constraints. The animation being formatted in the same angles that the characters are confined to, bettering the illusion of a moving comic. Minimalism in both animation and actual storytelling being one of the greatest strengths of the special. The special would be sponsored by the Coca-Cola Company, the first of many Coca-Cola sponsorships, and animated promotional segments would be commissioned. Although, with subsequent reruns, the sponsorship segments would not appear, and some of which have been lost to time. This would include an alternate cut of the opening number, Christmas Time Is Here, where Snoopy launches Linus into a Coke sign. That's why they're both seen near Snoopy, but only Charlie Brown is launched. And a simple message brought to you by the conclusion hymn, Hark the Angels Sing. The soundtrack of the special itself would become renowned for having elements of both jazz and traditional choir music. The track Linus and Lucy would essentially become a franchise jingle, even if only designed for those two characters in a single scenario, but does often appear in scenes of sibling quarrels involving the title characters. The jazz pianist groups would be composed by jazz pianist group the Vince Gualdry Trio and producer Lee Medelson, who would also work as a lyricist for some of the vocal songs that weren't public domain hymns. The score itself would become a series of iconic jingles and hymn covers, and by 2012, the Library of Congress would consider the soundtrack as a part of a, quote, culturally, historically, or aesthetically important piece of an American sound recording. The soundtrack definitely being one of its most crucial factors to its street cred in pop culture as one of the greatest pieces of Christmas media ever. And although that acclaim wasn't immediate, it was still a success and performed even better the next Christmas season, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Secure enough for greenlighting 2 more specials to release the next year in 1966.
There's some kids that say, you know, please keep Ernie. Bert will be unhappy.
Jim Henson's Muppets will always remind us of this wonderful, talented man.
7-year-old Emily Winnie says her favorite character, Big Bird, must continue without Henson.
He's probably thinking about Jim a lot. My favorite Muppet is Kermit, and I think he's sad, and I think all the Muppets are sad. I still think it will never be the same without Jim Henson. The puppets could still go on. They could live forever. Sing the
Without Henson, this seemed like a logical step, since a fourth Muppet movie was always intended. One of the intended concepts had a script written and was titled The Cheapest Muppet Movie Ever Made. The intention to be a movie within a movie directed by Gonzo, titled Into the Jaws of the Demons of Death. Gonzo would spend half the budget on the opening credits, meaning that the movie budget would decrease progressively, only to get a proper budget back as a result of sponsorships, allowing its conclusion to once again be over budget. The actual plot of Gonzo's in-universe movie being unknown, I personally assume the film would have segments dedicated to Gonzo's direction and the in-universe movie. This scrap project could be considered more experimental, so I'm curious to see if it would truly resonate with audiences upon release date. The thing about the Muppets from a structural creative perspective is that there was always a team being guided by Henson. So who would be the creative that would replace Henson to resume the same processes? Well, Henson, Brian Henson, Jim's third child. Brian Henson had been involved in minor parts, and hopefully he'd be alive longer, so nepotism, hell yeah. But this is a rare instance of nepotism I don't hate. Brian Henson's talent agent pitched the idea to Brian to tell the story of A Christmas Carol using Muppets, on the basis that A Christmas Carol was an acclaimed piece of literature. And what may seem like a off-the-cuff idea was shockingly well received. In my opinion, it's a more genius concept than you'd ever expect. Having the adaptation of A Christmas Carol being a movie within a movie. Being one of the most famous pieces of literature, I don't gotta tell you the plot. Casting the Muppets as different characters from the novel. The casting is perfect for both the Muppet stand-ins and when the film uses standard portrayals of the characters. It's actually stupid how well cast the Muppets are. The use of pre-existing characters enhancing the source material way more than you'd expect. Another large benefit to its concepts to retain the human Muppet dynamic, with Ebenezer Scrooge being the equivalent of the celebrity special guest, being portrayed by big-name actor Sir Michael Caine for an enhanced sense of audience familiarity. Caine decided to take his role ridiculously seriously, which is a benefit to show the moral irregularities in comparison to the people around him. The Muppets are shockingly the functioning members of society here, in addition to the ghosts of the story being Muppetized spins rather than filled roles. Also creating original children for Kermit and Piggy, an actual oddity to see but benefits the hypothetical in the end. The usage of Gonzo as Charles Dickens tagging along with Rizzo the Rat as himself being one of the most sparing creative decisions. Often reciting the original text directly, which the film does, and it's obvious because he starts speaking 1800s Brit talk, but it does an excellent job of reincorporating dialogue throughout. Also altering Jacob Marley to be the Marley brothers, being portrayed by Statler and Waldorf, the characters from the original ensemble most aligned with Scrooge. The film does start out in memoriam to both Jim Henson and Richard Hunt. This is further reflective throughout the absence of Rolf and Scooter, Rolf being limited to a silent character, being that he was the Muppet most close to Henson, while not being a character too integral to exclude narratively, unlike Kermit.
When I came into the thing, I was 18, and I was really energetic, and, I'd say, yeah, sure, everything you want to do, boss, no problem. I talked a lot like him. He's my voice when I was younger, like this.
Hi, are you Kermit the Frog?
Yeah.
I'm Scooter.
Cute name.
I'm your new gopher.
Gopher? No. We have frogs and pigs and chickens around here, but we've never had a gopher. Matter of fact, you don't even look like a gopher.
Yeah, well, you don't understand. You see, I'm your new gopher. Yeah, I'll go for coffee, I'll go for sandwiches, I'll go for anything you need.
Given that Scooter was kind of a self-insert of Richard Hunt, the character was temporarily retired. Despite being a Muppet retelling, that might just come off as a shitpost, but the Muppet actors don't eliminate any of the themes of the source material. As for Kermit, this is Steve Whitmire's first proper Kermit performance, and in his brief appearance in the Celebrate Jim Henson special, it's a little rough.
Let me thank you for being with us for our tribute to Jim Henson. And we'll be seeing you soon with more Muppet stuff, because that's the way the boss would want it.
But by Carol's production, he'd perfected his spin on the character.
How was he at church?
Oh, as good as gold and better. He told me that he hoped the people saw him in church because it might be pleasant for them to remember upon Christmas Day Who made lame beggars walk and blind men see?
Given that Kermit's voice was similar to Jim's outright speaking voice, it is very hard to replicate since that involves zero vocal manipulation tactics. So getting it perfect would be next to impossible, but Widmeyer still does an excellent job with handling the franchise's mascot. Like I said, the themes are retained, so there's still a horror edge to everything, seeing well-executed supernatural Muppet imagery, while retaining the drama that makes Scrooge's change in character effective to the audience.
I am sure we shall never forget Tiny Tim, or this first parting that there was among us.
Still killing off Tiny Tim, even in a kid's movie. A Christmas Carol being a public domain story with so much acclaim, there's been tons of other PG adaptations that don't temporarily kill off Tiny Tim, a crucial plot point amongst Scrooge's change in character. From what I've seen, lots of parody adaptations and child-friendly version, the child lives throughout. But if the Muppets can do it, so can you. Don't be a pussy, kill the child, even if it's an elementary school play. Paul Williams of the Muppet Movie and Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas came back to write the songs, and I think it's their greatest soundtrack. The seasonal replay value helps, but the orchestral approach to everything just knocks you into the stratosphere with some holiday cheer for bonus, while retaining the drama, comedy, holiday, heart, and horror aspect of the source material, enhancing the emotional weight of each plot point with the grim and cheerful nature of the holiday season. Atmospheric is a great way to describe countless elements of the film. The set design captures 1840s England aesthetic perfectly, while kind of visually retaining the light social commentary aspects of the original story, displaying the consequences of wealth inequality as it attempts to be reformed over the gift of giving. With the cinematography being both classy for the high class and greatly gritty for the low class, like previous Muppet projects, especially Caper, also set in England. This was the 90s, so this was the beginning of the modern day special effects we use now, and there's actually lots of green screen, but it's used incredibly strategically, most of the skies and backdrops being fake. Marley and Marley is a particularly impressive number from two characters who rarely sing. Michael Caine, despite being the protagonist of the movie, doesn't sing very much over the course of the movie, and that's a great way to evolve the sense of changing as a person. He could have easily had a number about how he hates everything, but singing would make him a more functioning member amongst his Muppet society. He doesn't even sing his own introductory. It's the Muppet citizens around him criticizing him, denying any chance of his moral character changing, foreshadowing the unexpected change in Scrooge's moral differences. He only has one solo song despite his screen time, Thankful Heart, a redemption song. The song When Love Is Gone, when Scrooge loses his hoochie and future Scrooge views his memory again, being the thing that finally breaks him, and we hear him sing for the first time when the movie is almost over. Caine's brief musical performances are great. The pain and shift in his identity is very noticeable through his vocal tones, both elevating the narrative. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's because this musical number was cut out of the theatrical version. And why? Disney. Disney did not make the film, but they did distribute it, meaning that the film is a collaboration between the Henson Company and Disney, attempting to fulfill Henson's vision of Disney ownership.
That's the way the boss would want it.
But that legally couldn't be fulfilled because that didn't stop collaboration. Disney wanted the specific scene removed because the scene did poorly in test screenings, which is kind of an asinine take to say that kids wouldn't like that part of the film when it released in 1992, the same time as the Disney Renaissance. Hell, it was in theaters the same time as Aladdin. It's a very Disney princessy ballad, which were decades before The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, which were recent additions to the catalog in 1992. Yes, there's no Muppets because Gonzo and Rizzo are used reasonably throughout the film, never interrupting proper character development with their narration shenanigans. But Disney seriously thought kids were that stupid. It's like 3 minutes without Muppets. I get they don't have long attention spans, but 3 minutes?
Uh-oh, they're starting to argue philosophy.
A foreshadowing of the horror to come. But it's a great number and important to the narrative of Scrooge's character building, given the reprise to conclude the movie. Seeing Scrooge only sing as a backing vocalist for the first time in the last 30 seconds or so is much more effective of a redemption than Grateful Heart, which When Love Is Gone sets up. Brian Henson and company disagreed with Disney's policy, but complied to their order because it could risk losing the distributor that the boss would have wanted. However, this instance of corporate meddling in Muppets only applies to the theatrical version. The VHS home media releases included this scene. Later home media releases, like most DVDs, contain the theatrical edit. So if you grew up with the movie on DVD, there's a good chance that there's an entire musical number you may have never seen. The master film reels did go missing, so by the time of crispier DVD remasters, it wasn't included in that. But thankfully, the original master copies of the film were recovered and remastered the VHS version, and that became widely available to stream on Disney+. The VHS remaster being an extra on the selection screen on Disney+. You can also view the scene individually in its remaster. It should be the other way around if you ask me. Why would you knowingly watch the DVD version if it doesn't have all the content? Throw the DVD/theatrical version in the garbage, watch the VHS remaster version. When Love Is Gone isn't the only deleted song from the movie either. There were 2 numbers that never even had sequences shot and were simply soundtrack exclusives. First, Room in Your Heart, sung by Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker, encouraging Scrooge to donate to charity for the benefit of love. Second, Chairman of the Board, sung by Sam Eagle, expanding the plot point of Scrooge viewing his youth receiving his education through song. They're cute numbers, but I don't have a problem with them being excluded since there's already plot points dedicated to these aspects of Scrooge's character, so their exclusion isn't hugely consequential to Scrooge's character progression. The Muppets Christmas Carol is genuinely the best version of A Christmas Carol. The pre-existing Muppets somehow only enhancing the already great source material. You wouldn't expect a random combination to be the best adaptation, but it's so well crafted and wastes zero potential that I'd go as far to say that it's the best Muppet movie. But remember how I said it was in theaters around the same time as Aladdin? Well, it doesn't end there. Home Alone 2: Lost in Trump Tower was also in theaters. So for family movies that December, there was some tough competition. The film did fine at the box office, making $27.2 million on a $12 million budget. That's more than double, but not much more. However, the film would gain cult status in future years, seemingly benefited by quality and seasonal replay value. So the movie performed fine and wasn't hated by critics, so Brian Henson continued the direction of utilizing Muppets to retell classic literature. Oh yeah, it ain't over, motherfuckers. The motherfucking saga continues for the Muppets in 2002 because later that year, we also got It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie, or as I like to call, the Muppet Shitty Generic Holiday Special, airing on NBC. Just look at the DVD cover, you can tell how shitty and boring it is. The characters aren't doing anything exclusive to the narrative. They're like in Christmas attire and on a Christmas background. The title is so vague, like, what happens on Christmas? The film is simultaneously a generic Save the Rec Center movie, Christmas special, and It's a Wonderful Life parody. A clusterfuck with 2 extra cliches. Now, like I said, the Muppets have had a long history of using simplicity to its benefit to subvert cliches. Here, it appears as if it's cliche because it's lazy. Like the villain is a big bad corporate villain. Bro thinks she awful be bad.
'Cause I'm awful! I'm awful! Awful be bad! Oh, get down!
No, literally, the corporation is called Be Bad.
If you need boxes for the move, you can check the back of the liquor store.
Oh wait, it's subverting the genre because it's an evil business woman.
For the record, I consider that flying pig to be a coincidence and not a sign from God.
And an atheist.
God? You're not real! I don't believe in you!
Well, I am real myself.
Not for long!
The special was directed by Kirk R. Thatcher, who you may know as a puppeteer behind a lot of the creatures from Return of the Jedi. Star Wars easily at its most Muppety. Film is also partially resemblant of Muppets Tonight, with the inclusion of Johnny Fiamma, Sal Howard, but no Clifford. There is like a weird religious angle where Whoopi Goldberg plays God. Now I know it's a Christ Mass movie, and the Noah's Ark joke from earlier, but like, God played by Whoopi Goldberg being a side character viewing the movie is just an odd angle to take. At the beginning of It's a Wonderful Life, the angels in the sky talk, and they're like, oh, fuck it, let's make that part of the plot. As it is partially a Wonderful Life adaptation, just Dick writing Christmas Carol's adaptational success. It's also a musical, like, sometimes, with like 3 songs, 2 of which are covers of Jingle Bells and Santa Baby, and 1 original song which also does get a reprised, which is dog shit, called Everyone Matters.
Everyone matters. Everyone for worse or for better. We can change the world around us.
Okay, fine message, but the lyrics are incredibly lazy. It never tells us why everyone matters. The Wonderful Life adaptation is so lazily tacked on and comes off as nostalgia bait resolution. The entire movie isn't a parody, it just parodies lots of Christmas movies like A Grinch and A Christmas Story as well, but there's nothing clever or transformative about the parodies. It's just throwing Christmas shit at the wall. Muppets Tonight had a little dated parody humor, but this just has atrocious parody humor. There's a scene with a Steve Irwin impersonator. Apparently the late Steve Irwin was supposed to play himself, but couldn't due to scheduling conflicts. But like, it just goes on for way too long and isn't funny.
A permit for a topless nightclub?
Better safe than sorry, okay? Good point.
There is so much just weird sexual humor. Pepe at this era is just severely flanderized. Instead of being interested in the ladies, okay, like he's just flat out horny. And this was after Disney bought them. How did he get more fucking horny? Did they really have to make Scooter a stripper? In this movie, Pepe wants to fuck the villain.
I love your spirit. Well, listen to me, my little king prawn king. You answer this question, and I'll give you...
Did f***ing Linkara write this?
But Pepe, I want you.
Oh, I want you to.
Why are her feet so close to the camera? I can't even say did Tarantino direct this, because if he did, it probably wouldn't be dog shit. Speaking of dogs and shit, I actually do like one joke, the Triumph cameo.
Muppet movies are always the best.
You mean that?
For me to poop on!
Right, you got me again. Bye-bye.
I used to be obsessed with Triumph when I was like 7. Triumph the Insult Comic Dog was a character first debuting on Conan, the only good living talk show host. He just popped up in a lot of stuff afterward throughout the 2000s.
So what's going on here? You've got a little future nerd in here?
Yes, future nerd, future Jedi.
When is he due?
June 27th, 6 weeks.
Wow. That's the last time you'll ever see female genitalia.
His catchphrase was, "For me to poop on."
Listen to me. The Sopranos is the best, as everyone knows, show on television, yes? For me to poop on.
And it was kind of like an early internet meme. I used to watch For Me to Poop On compilations like all the time, and this crossover cameo is actually pretty clever, nostalgia bias aside. In fact, I used to see this scene a lot in For Me to Poop On compilations.
No! No! I hate you, Muppet!
The ending is shit. Kermit's like, oh no, I don't want my friends to work at a strip club. So, f it, he's ready for any challenge that comes his way. But then Pepe's like, hey, you f***ing awful B-bad bitch, you can't do that because there's a piece of paper that makes it a historical landmark. You can't tear down our theater, and limits any chance of the resolution of It's a Wonderful Life of accepting challenge. Given that it came out in 2002, it's very safe to assume that it was in development before 9/11. And in this movie, when it starts getting to the shitty Wonderful Life parody, Kermit is sent into the world where he was never born, and he goes to Piggy's house, and you can see the Twin Towers in her window, meaning that Kermit Kermited 9/11. Why else are the towers in the world where he was never born? That error is legitimately the best thing about this movie. You see, kids, this is why you edit out the Twin Towers of your movies that filmed before 9/11. The film has 0 point to exist, has none of the perfection of Christmas Carol, none of the charm of Family Christmas, none of the charm of the John Denver special, its spiritual successor, the Lady Gaga special as well, and Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and the Christmas Toy, and the Great Santa Claus Switch, etc. There are so many better Muppet Christmas options than this. We just f***ing had a generic holiday special. Why do we need another one, also directed by Kirk R. Thatcher? Like, don't harass him on Twitter or anything, but compared to Frank Oz and Brian Henson as a main creative, this guy's creative direction for the franchise sucks ass. That might be Disney's fault for corporate meddling, but often this guy's name on a Muppet project is a red flag. One of the main selling points of the special is Paul Williams. The most legendary Muppet songwriter returned for the special, and the songs are fine. There's nothing to work with. Paulie tried his hardest. Oh yeah, a song about the post office.
Our goal is pure, we're making sure that Santa gets his mail.
Without good material, you can't really expect any further good evolution. It is so and boring that it feels like a Hallmark movie. You remove the Muppets from everything and it would be the exact same movie. The whole thing looks like stock footage. Replace Kermit with a Hollywood white middle-aged man and you couldn't tell the difference. It's only 45 minutes long, thankfully, but sometimes a short runtime is a testament to laziness. It's half the runtime of the previous generic holiday special, but quadruple the fucking vanilla. Whoopi Goldberg is back, not appearing as God this time, but she sure carries the spirit of the first generic holiday special, also directed by Kirk R. Thatcher. Boring, lazy, corporate garbage with fine songs, that's all this is.
We'll be here any minute and we'll start rehearsal. Director? What director? Charlie Brown! Oh no, we're doomed!
Now, think of what the hell you wanted for Christmas in 2009. I could tell you, I used to have an Owen Wilson car wallet, but my brother wiped his ass with it, so we had to throw that shit out, quite literally. Maybe Santa will bring me another one.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
Oh shit, it's Bill Cosby!
It's the thirsty.
Poor little baby. You can stay inside the house. Just don't pee on my mom's bed again. She was very mad. Hey, it's Fred!
In 2009, the Fred Webb original was still going strong. Mainly, there is one main series episode that is not on the channel. Fred Tries Dancing, where Fred practices dancing in an attempt to get on a dance team that Judy is in to get closer to Judy. It is not available, presumably out of copyright complications, but this episode could have been influential to a notable Fred music project. At this point in time, Fred was so popular that Lucas was given the opportunity for a singing career. Not as himself, but as the Fred character. Fred the fucking Christmas EP, because Christmas is crucial to the US economy, I don't know.
Let's face it, we all know that Christmas is a big commercial racket. It's run by a big Eastern syndicate, you know.
It's a Hackin' Christmas with Fred by Fred Figglehorn. Should be in every mall during the holiday season, just like Mariah Carey. The EP qualifies as self-released given that it was not distributed by a major label, and the sound audio seems like it was recorded on an iPod Touch 3. Now, I know my audio is very inconsistent. I travel a lot, can't always get it, but I have metal pipe sound effects, so I get a pass. Although with the lack of a major label, it still got a CD released, even in the age of iTunes and pirated YouTube re-uploads. Guys, this is so Lana Del Rey vinyl. On top of the bad audio quality, Fred's voice is also an issue because of the limitations of the vocal range because of having such a high pitch. And there's no strategy to not make it be obnoxious, but I guess the obnoxiousness aspect was what people liked about the character. In fact, it's even auto-tuned. Now, I don't hate auto-tuned, but I don't like it when it's overused and not used sparingly. And the last thing Fred's high-pitched voice needed was auto-tune. It reminds me of bad Five Nights at Freddy's songs on that corner of YouTube.
Really take shots. This attraction is great. So many guards I can break.
You know, that corner of YouTube.
Better watch your girl before I clap those cheeks.
And the FNAF characters are robots, so to create the illusion of a singing voice, voice filters are often incorporated, but not sparingly. As an example of being used sparingly, Madlib, the music producer, has a cartoon alter ego named Lord Quaz, and together Lord Quaz and Madlib have a group called Quasimodo, with the main gimmick that one person is playing two different characters in a single song. Lord Quaz is just Madlib with the voice filter, but Lord Quaz's pitch-shifted voice makes it tolerable because it's used strategically. It's a great music experiment.
But this is hacking squirrel poop.
But let's look at the tracks. The first one is Christmas Cash, and it got a music video of Fred on a bad green screen with shitty JPEG environments. But Fred is screaming about how he loves money for Christmas, and I agree with him. But on top of the shitty Kids Boppy production, it barely has anything to do with Christmas. It's just a money and bitches song without the bitches. The chorus is mostly just the words money. It's so lazy and barely Christmassy. Like, you could replace the word Christmas with birthday and the song would be exactly the same. Track 2, Christmas is Creepy, a rap which is just every Santa is a pedophile joke you've ever heard in your entire life. It has poorly animated segments. I think they were trying to parody the Rankin Bass stop-motion animations, a popular thing to parody with Christmas comedy.
Yeah, so what? Well, you need to get the Christmas spirit.
I don't need to listen to this shit. Where the hell is my Countach?
Which they do later in the video, but I think they were trying to do the same thing with the 2D segments. In fact, if the entire thing was stop motion, it probably could have benefited from it. There was clearly no effort on the stop motion aspect. Like, why doesn't Fred look like Hermie? The snowman doesn't look anything like Sam the Snowman. Throughout all the animation, there's very minimal lip syncing. The Jacob Marley gag isn't bad because it actually fits the Christmas horror theme, but I assume this entire Christmas EP project was rushed, and this video is a great example. Track 3, Fred's One Open Squirrel Sleigh, a shitty rock version of Jingle Bells, but with squirrel lyrics, and is not a sleigh, besties, am I right? Song 4, Fred's 12 Days of Christmas, a parody that is also a rap because lol XD rapping beat. In this version, the 12 items are all from Judy and are therapy sessions, dads in prison, fatties dancing, creepers creeping, moms in rehab, cats with rabies, talking heads, screeching birds, Swedish meatballs, TV dinners, and a little baby squirrel in a tree. Considering Judy gifted Fred all of this shit according to the song, I interpret it as a schizophrenia attack of Fred's. Like, how the hell did Judy give him a mom in rehab? Multiple moms in rehab. As a parody, it doesn't make any sense. We even get an epic guest feature with Fred's mom, and it's a man's voice, and I know the joke is that Fred's mom is ugly, but Fred's mom's backing vocal guest feature is awful. But A Hackin' Christmas with Fred was somewhat of a success, with Christmas is Creepy being the highest charted song on the EP, reaching #1 on the US Holiday Song Chart, and the EP reaching #8 on the US Billboard for Comedy Albums, and #24 in the Heat Seekers chart, and #13 on the US Holiday Albums chart. But this short Christmas EP was enough of a success to secure more Fred music.
Oh, dude, come on, you seriously smoked the entire stash of crack again?
Few moments later.
Dragons have invaded Dave & Buster's.
Why have dragons invaded Dave & Buster's? Who let a dragon into Dave & Buster's? What the fuck? It was Obama, wasn't it? Obama, goddamn you. Why did you let dragons into Dave & Buster's? What the fuck? My god, I sure do hope the dragons never invade my basement.
It's the thirsty.
Oh shit, it's Bill Cosby! Take this, you stupid bitch!
I have just one query.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
The answer is clear. It's the thirstiest time of the year.
Alright, believe it or not, boys, Christmas music is bad.
Get ready, Santa Claus, to start decking the halls with gifts from my Christmas list.
Okay, maybe not that bad, but for those of you who didn't know, my least favorite Christmas song of all time, well, actual Christmas song, not that bullshit, of all time, is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer by Elmo and Pasty. You know, the song with the music video where they shove some old bitch out into fucking Antarctica and she dies, and then they're happy that she doesn't die and just Santa just drops her the chimney. Like, are you okay? What the fuck? Now, if you watch Cartoon Network in the 2000s, you probably have seen this special. They aired it constantly. It's in the same realm as, say, the Scary Godmother duology, shitty Cartoon Network specials that even as a kid I despised, but they would air constantly during their respective holidays. And also, for some reason, they would air this on Christmas Eve morning all the time for like the past couple years. But you know what? The stupid fucking song got a stupid fucking movie. And obviously, it isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it might actually be the stupidest ever. Okay, well, holy hell, that is an awful title sequence. But anyway, we start up with a narration by Elmo Schraubschneider, the singer of the song.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer, all right. And as incredible as that was, it almost put an end to Christmas.
Yeah, you know what, Mr. Narrator, man, that is pretty incredible. This bitch is like 80 years old, and she just survived an attack of, what, like 8 reindeer and 400-pound sleigh and a 400-pound pedophile. Like that's a huge attack. That is actually pretty fucking incredible.
It was December, and everyone in Cityville was caught up in the chaos of the holidays.
The town is called Cityville? Oh, I didn't know the fucking Powerpuff Girls lived here.
And no place was busier than my grandma's store. My grandma's store. Ah, there it is.
What, this Spankenheimer? Is this a fucking porno shop? Nope. Turns out the grandma is the CEO of the fucking gift shop at Cracker Barrel, and we meet our main character, the little shit known as Jake Spankenheimer. Yes, that is their last name, and it is said constantly throughout the movie.
You can stop right there. That shoplifting, missy.
What seems to be the problem?
Problem? No problem. No money. No merchandise.
No way! Your credit is always good here, Martha. Why, you just stop by when you get your next paycheck.
Thanks, Grandma. Everyone have a Merry Christmas!
Okay, well, that's not legal and bad for business. What if she never shows back up again? And considering that she's an adult without a credit card kind of makes something about her financial history. Epic business decisions, not autistic at all. And damn, I like how the dad is just rocking the sweet Doug and Hugh testicles look. Anyway, they get an inflatable Christmas tree, which I thought people put in their front yards, but okay. And then they put it in the living room, and then it's shaped like a penis.
They had Christmas trees like that when I was a boy.
Wait a second, is that the narrator? Yeah, it's the same guy. Elmo Schneider voiced the grandpa character and the narrator. It's just really distracting. Like, I'm glad they can have the original guy in the movie, but like, why would you give him more than one role if he's doing the exact same fucking voice? It is, again, really confusing. Nothing in the special makes any goddamn sense. Anyway, Austin Bucks, aka the CEO of fucking everything, wants to come and buy Grandma's store.
If this store were mine, I'd sell it.
Cousin Mel, this store will never be yours. Oh, yeah!
Okay, what? And also, if she outlives multiple generations of the family and it stays in business, she will eventually inherit it.
The way I see it, you can divide the world into two groups. People who like fruitcake and all the rest of us.
The holidays. What? Fruitcake? What the fuck? Why do we need a song about fucking fruitcake? Why did a fruitcake warrant a fucking song? What the hell's the point of this?
One's enough to give the whole state of Kentucky a great big belly.
Oh, hey, honey, what you do at work today? Oh, I am made of the state of Kentucky, fucking throwing up everywhere. Oh, that's not. Get back in the kitchen, you whore!
Anyway, we get to hear the title song again, and it serves the purpose of narrating what is going on screen, except the narrator's constantly interrupted to imply what is already being told by the lyrics, and it does not flow well at all.
She'd been drinking too much eggnog.
You've been drinking too much eggnog.
Excuse me, an elderly woman at least went missing. There's no proof that she got murdered by a pedophile, but she at least went missing. Like, why are you all acting like robots? What the fuck? So they call the police, and then like they show up the next day for some reason, because it's Christmas, I guess.
Impossible. Right here in the manual. There's no such thing as Santa Claus.
It's two. Oh, we got a code 1225, Santa Claus's real syndrome family dispute.
Well, I'm glad to see that Sarah Palin finally quit her job of posting things on Facebook. Anyway, there's a huge time jump, and it skips to September. Oh shit, I kind of actually like that idea. It's a Christmas and a half movie. You can watch on both Christmas and 9/11. That's epic. Anyway, Grandma gets declared legally dead, and the business is going bankrupt, and then Cousin Mel, the antagonist, decides that, you know, I'm gonna fucking sell the store because it's clearly going out of business. We actually need the financial support. Anyway, she tries to sell the store to the CEO of fucking everything, but it turns out that she needs the grandpa's signature, which he could get very easily because I'm pretty sure he has fucking Alzheimer's. Like, I'm joking, but he's like this old guy comic relief that fails so miserably at being funny, presents this really confused vibe. But anyway, since she tries to get the signature, they go out to dinner.
It's right here in these papers. All you have to do is sign.
Sing?
No, sign.
Up again with the fucking Alzheimer's.
Sure.
So sign.
I'd rather sing.
Grandma spending Christmas with the superstars.
What the fuck? What kind of song segue was that? What if the conversation went differently? Like, his wife is dead and he just, why does he imagine himself as Elvis? How horny is this bitch? Jesus. Oh wait, it's fucking Alzheimer's, never mind. And when Cousin Mel successfully gets the signature, then J. Robert Spankenheimer over here gets really fucking pissed.
Actually, I'm going over to see Austin Bucks and sell this dump for millions.
Wait, millions? Yep, that's right. The fucking Cracker Barrel gift shop in the middle of nowhere is worth millions.
Grandpa, how could you do that?
They could help so many more people. They could make so many more autistic decisions in the spirit of Grand Mill Spankenheimer. Nope, but J. Robert Spankenheimer gets really fucking pissed, so instead of his idiot parents talking to him like, Jake, look, we lost a beloved family member, and that sadly happens, but she can't come back. Times are changing. We may have to sell our business because we will be starving and fucking homeless if we don't. And if the business were to be under new ownership, there's be so much more that we could do. Nope, but because of the potentially new business ownership, J. Robert Spankenheimer gets really fucking pissed, so he goes on roller skates through like an office building, and nobody stops him, and then he goes to talk to the CEO of fucking everything. He's like, okay, you know, your shit, old cunt is dead, so yeah, just he comes with a brilliant idea. You know, it says it takes a little bit of time for the transaction of finalization to the business ownership to be complete. You have a week to find Grandma, even though she's already fucking dead. So anyway, J. Robert Spankenheimer comes up with a brilliant idea that Santa must have Grandma or something. So he decides to send him an email. Yeah, you know, he was just that easy to get in contact with, so you just want to see the Easter Bunny, boom, just fucking hit him up on Discord. I mean, like, you saw him murder your grandma. Like, why are you doing this? She died, like, almost a year ago. You should have been doing this from day fucking one. But nope, it turns out that grandma is still alive, and Santa actually has her, and I guess she's just been vibing the North Pole, and no one seems to care at all. And keep in mind, Santa knows who everybody is, so through the process of deduction, like, how would he not figure out where the nearest hospital or police station is? Like, nope, I guess he just kept her hostage to the North Pole. I don't fucking know. Nope, he just keeps her at the North Pole like a fucking maniac. And I guess he's somehow not aware about how people are looking for her. Like, they even put her face on milk cartons. Hello, you're Santa, milk and cookies. So anyway, an elf comes into J. Robert Spankenheimer's room in the middle of the night, and they decide that they're gonna go to the North Pole to see Grandma. So, that's right, kids. If a midget comes into your room in the middle of the night, go with him to the North Pole. Great moral. Anyway, we get another terrible song, and it turns out that Grandma has amnesia, but I'm just gonna call it Alzheimer's because her husband's clearly showing some signs. And also, why does Santa, a Christian holiday mascot, have a stereotypical Jewish accent? Like, to be fair, so is Jesus, but like, it's just really distracting.
Every Christmas and helps his grandma in the kitchen. It's nice to finally meet someone from Cityville who still believes in me.
It is me, Bernie Sanders, and I am once again asking for your financial support by watching my new epic movie, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
What is that in the sky?
Ho 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 ho. Grandma, look out.
It's Santa Claus and his reindeer. No 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 no.
Wait a second, if the grandma is German and Santa is Jewish, then oh, clearly she was a Nazi and he's just getting revenge. Am I right? Or am I right, boys?
Anyway, they fly back to Cityville, and then Cousin Mel and her lawyer sees the grandma in the parking lot, so they decide to kidnap her? Nope, but then just Santa goes into the office building, and nobody seems to care at all.
We couldn't find her anywhere. She's missing again.
Since Grandma is nowhere to be found, and the man in the red suit here admitted he ran over her, I demand that you have Santa arrested for the disappearance of Grandma.
No!
The news that Santa had been arrested for the disappearance of Grandma was a shock, especially to Mrs. Claus.
Wait, what? Santa in jail. Santa in, what, in the hot, crispy Kentucky Fried Fuck?
One eternity later.
Okay, not only is Santa Claus real, and I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be the headline, it would be holy fucking shit, Santa Claus is real. Anyway, they're gonna sue Santa for keeping Grandma hostage in the North Pole for 9 months.
Santa's been arrested!
Except the way it transitioned is so fast and confusing as hell, like I just showed you. But anyway, since they're just trying to not have her involved in the case to initially prevent it, they keep her hostage at like a fucking ice cabin in the middle of nowhere, and she just takes orders from anybody. Like, I get she has no clue who any of these people are, but considering her condition displayed by the film, she's just not gonna take orders from anybody. Like, what is this, fucking Breaking Bad? Jesus.
Santa, 'cause Grandma would have wanted him to.
Okay, well, first, what the actual fuck was that song transition? And also, this is, weirdly sexual for a kid's movie. I'm not fucking complaining, but this is weirdly sexual. And number 3, the song is only like a minute, but it feels like a fucking eternity. But anyway, we get the court scene, which makes no fucking sense. So J. Robert Spankenheimer goes in the ice cabin, and then he finds some chemical or something, which she makes 2 fruitcakes with. A normal one, and then the one without the chemical. Nope, but of course, Grandma gets her memory back because of the taste of the fucking fruitcake. So, yeah, go cure COVID and cancer. Good job, Jake. But he goes into the court and lets everybody try the 2 fruitcakes, and everyone likes the normal fruitcake, even though there was a musical number at how it sucked so much ass earlier in the film. And then, of course, the other one is fucking disgusting. And it was in Cousin Mel's possession the entire goddamn time. No, but it turns out the chemical makes the reindeer go fucking crazy. So it's established that she made Santa do this, even though, first of all, I thought she didn't know that Santa existed in this universe. Grandma and Santa would have to be at highly specific times for the collision to initially happen. Like, what are the fucking chances of that happening? If she planned it out, it makes no sense. And they still didn't prove that she Bill Cosby'd the fruitcake, which I guess makes sense, but you have no proof of her initially doing that. Yeah, it's established that she did do it, but you didn't prove it at all.
Oh, right. I admit it. Yes, yes.
I hate it when I take a shit and water splashes in my asshole.
And?
I shot a successful rapper in the parking lot in Florida.
And?
I still watch Smosh.
And?
Steven Universe is a good show.
Arrest this woman for obstructing justice and almost ruining Christmas.
That's what you get for being selfish and stupid.
Oh, they even get to run Grandma over again. Funny. So overall, yeah, Grandma got run over by reindeers. Probably the most memorably dumb holiday special of all time. It's a shit movie based on a shit song that nobody likes, neither of which need to exist, but it includes a plot that is so forced because of a lack of a real story within the source material. But it's just overall confusing and kind of fucking painful to watch, but it's, at the same time, it's so stupid. You still want to see what happens, even if it makes no goddamn sense, and it just doesn't help that the main role of Jake Spankenheimer is just fucking insufferable. And overall, yeah, it's just pointless and bad. Nothing much left to say. But that's not the only Christmas special we're revisiting today. There's one more left to revisit, which is also the main subject of this video, but let's take another look at The Christmas Tree. So The Christmas Tree 1991, not the 69, 63, or 96 film, I think is actually worse than Rhapsody Street Kids. Now, I said Rhapsody Street Kids was worse twice, but I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Revisiting this for this review, it is far worse. What the fuck? Oh my god, was I wrong? However, it is a really close second. Actually, an interesting thing to know is that the film, much like Rhapsody Street Kids, it only aired once on December 14th, 1991. Damn, that was like 11 days before the USSR collapsed.
Damn you, Christmas tree!
And also, this movie was directed by a Pokemon.
Flareon, deploy!
Anyway, let's cut the shit. So anyway, we start out with a narrator that explains that there's an orphanage run by some old bitch who neglects the children and treats them all like shit, and they all have nothing, so they think that the fucking pine tree in the backyard is magical. I like who the mayor, who's the inspector for some reason, just barely even fucking inspects the orphanage and just hands her fucking bags of money. Yeah, very professional distribution of pay. Makes total sense.
Do not diddle kids, it's no good diddling kids. You shouldn't do it with anyone younger than... FBI, open up!
Seriously, why is that in the movie? This was made by adults. They should know not to do that type of stuff. It's fucking disgusting. Oh, she's such a bitch that she doesn't even live. Family willing to find work goes to the mayor's office, even though I highly doubt that it's his form of restriction. But it turns out that he can send the husband to the lumber mill and the wife, Judy, and the kids to stay at the orphanage. And now is a perfect opportunity to showcase how fucking bad the voice acting is. It's not as, say, technically inconfident as the Slim Shady show, but oh my god, it is so bad. Miss
When you go through the window.
What?
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
Like, I get the kid, Ellie Drygrass, who was in this and nothing else, and there's virtually no info on, unsurprisingly. It was probably like 2 or 3 when she recorded this, but when kids voicing kids doesn't always fail. Sometimes it can capture the character very well.
You're a fat bitch.
You're a fat bitch.
But most of the time, no, it's not a good idea. The giving tree, because in the book, it kind of serves as a metaphor for the boy's mother. And, you know, the kids don't have parents in the story. Also, fuck you, Shel Silverstein. I just wanted to read the giving tree, not have fucking nightmares. Yeet. So anyway, Judy lets the kids go outside, and they even decorate Miss Hopewell with her dead relatives. And anyway, the mayor is back. Yep, again, he just hands her fucking bags of money like it's some drug trade or something. Is that the reason why everyone acts like a fucking robot? But anyway, it's almost Christmas time, and of course, the kids don't know what Christmas fucking comprehend anything. Anyway, Miss Velveeta Biscuit loses all the motherfucking money, and then she can't give the children anything for Christmas, so she decides that the children can't go outside because it would make her financial loss more present, which conflicts with Judy's conditions. So of course, the kids lose their shit, and then Miss Mavilda just fucking, I don't know.
I know! What if I make that good girl into a bad one?
What, we never fucking saw that. What the hell?
Wait for an hour and then call the police.
You just gotta try to go it.
Anyway, this one kid was spying on her, and she realizes that Miss Hopewell is about to be cut down. So anyway, they realize that they have to prevent this, but they can't go to the mayor's office. Should we convert the American government to communism? So one of the kids, Pappy, decides that he's gonna go to the North Pole to get help from Santa. So I'm pretty sure it's a continuity error, but he leaves during the night, and then we cut back during the day. So anyway, then Santa... Oh.
You are good.
Yes, remember kids, you always win when you are good. And yes, the clearly mentally ill caretaker who neglects their children, has a gambling problem, threatens the children and mayor with a chainsaw, gets off completely scot-free, and continues to fulfill a similar position in which you could very easily repeat similar processes. Absolute worst Christmas movie I've ever seen. Like, I know that's probably really obvious, but there was just clearly no effort at all. The story tries to be heartwarming, but it's also so stupid and obnoxious that anyone with any form of intelligence would look at this and say it's stupid. Half the dialogue and just the events in the story are fucking incomprehensible, and there's just no heart at all. Like, at least with Rap City Street Kids, okay, not only is it actually funny out of context and in small doses, or if you're like drunk or high or something, at least with Rap City Street Kids, there's something at least memorable within there. You know, it's a few steps away from just being a little bit memorable, I guess. Obviously, with an improved dialogue, plot, characters, animation, it wouldn't be good, but like, you could look back on that, you're like, yeah, that was nice. That warmed my heart a little bit. And there is that potential of a good movie within it. And don't get me wrong, Rap City Street Kids is fucking horrendous.
I have a great idea.
What? Have a picnic?
Just watch how smart I am.
And you know when I am pointing out the positives, which I didn't know existed, of Rap City Street Kids, you know there is something wrong here.
So yeah, that's the end of the review. I hope you have a happy whatever the fuck you celebrate. I celebrate the birth of Stalin. And don't worry, a 5th season is happening.
So let's look at the sequel, A Fairly Odd Christmas. Yep, that's right, they made a fucking Christmas sequel. So yeah, the Christmas sequel, A Fairly Odd Christmas, should actually be titled Drake Bell and his crew of fucking retards save Christmas or some shit. So we start off with Santa, who's looking pretty in shape for a guy known for his type 4 diabetes, and he's approached with an elf, which is the only elf that is an adult, let alone has dwarfism. And it turns out that kids' names are being removed from the list, and he's mad since someone else is delivering gifts for him. But then when we cut back to being a retard because he was allowed to keep his fairies in the last movie, so he's just going around making charitable wishes, some of which aren't very charitable at all. Like, they give some girl on the street a monster truck, so yeah, you know, that's good. Like, it's a fucking monster truck, of course she's gonna crash into the shit and make $1 million in fucking property damage, what the hell? Oh, they make a toy dinosaur into a giant Godzilla, again, probably causing millions of fucking dollars in property damage, and probably getting killed in the process as well. Oh, they even clear traffic on a bridge. Like, where did the other cars go? What the hell? Did you kill somebody? Or they make Paris go into an eclipse and set fireworks for some random fucking girl. They turn some desert into a grassland and there's a camel. They straighten the Leaning Tower of Pisa and they give, like, a girl in a third world country a unicorn. At least she's giving them food. Then they give criminals expensive TVs. Yeah, very charitable. But anyway, they crash the fucking band because they're retards. And then we run into the only good thing of this franchise.
North Pole? Ridiculous! Everyone knows there's no such thing as the North Pole or polar bear.
Busters!
Shut the fuck up, Crocker. Yes, they do. They made a whole movie about it. So anyway, Cosmo and Wanda just meet some elves on the streets and they're not disguised at all for some reason. Like, you realize people are gonna see you, but it turns out the fairies and the elves have some beef we don't know about, which presents another missed opportunity. Now, elves have been in the Fairly Odd Parents before, but this would be a good opportunity to incorporate another previous antagonist that have beef with the fairies. Like, why not have the anti-fairies, or say, the pixies, you know, which would work for Santa, and the elves just wouldn't give a shit. It's like, oh, I retired them, they don't want anything to do with me, we don't need the backstory, they just don't give a fuck, and Santa's just working with someone else, and the process still works the same. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't do that. Which results in me not giving a fuck about the conflict because it's not consistent with the lore. And again, is a heavily missed opportunity. And if you're gonna have the characters have some notorious conflict, like, at least do a good job of establishing what it is. Like, the rivalry is not convincing at all, but then they go to the north, then Cracker, who again is unironically great in this movie, sneaks under the car.
So the North Pole does exist! Apparently so did Polar Bears!
Yo, holy shit, Norman, the motherfucking North is in this movie. Actually, no, this movie sucks. I'm sorry, Norm, but not even your thickness can save this movie.
I need a word with you.
Wait, why don't they know any of this? Timmy has met Santa multiple times in the original show. But anyway, Santa asked Timmy to stop making generous and totally not autistic wishes, but then one of the machines break down.
Using fairy magic in an elf-made building! It wasn't us!
Dude, what the fuck? You killed Santa. What the hell? Who's gonna watch me masturbate now? What the fuck? Good job, Rake Bell from Rake and Josh. Oh, actually, Santa's alive now, but he just has autism, much like me.
Santa, are you okay? Speak to me!
I'm fine, Mommy.
Ha ha ha! Not a ho!
Santa Claus, are you hurt?
Santa Claus? Who's Santa Claus?
I'm the Easter Bunny.
Clearly, the fall scrambled Santa's head. He's forgotten who he is. Who knows how long he's gonna be like this? Oh, it gets worse, guys. I think those are rabbit trappings.
Oh, Tootie, you fucking cunt. You seriously never seen an obese man intentionally shit on the floor in front of a crowd of bunch of midgets? What the fuck? But anyway, Jorgen pops in and hands him the rules, even though he got the rules in the last movie. But fuck it, Timmy is Santa now, because Santa is autistic, like Nostalgia Critic's thumbnails. Lord forgive me for what I'm about to do with this one. But anyway, it turns out that Timmy can't be Santa because he's on the naughty list. So to get him off the naughty list, they have to find the one fucking elf with dwarfism. And Cracker comes along in this movie because, well, I actually like that, but it is really weird if your teacher walked up to you and was like, hey, you want to go through some autistic adventure to find a midget through the fucking North Pole? And I will give him credit for actually filming in a real environment and not a shitty set or a green screen, which they could have very easily done. It would still look like shit. In fact, it looks worse than the last one. That's why it looks so bad, but that's probably where all the budget went. Like the rendering on the fairies looks even worse this time around.
You're so short you couldn't take a flea's knees! Burn!
Ugh. Whoa, bro, look at this epic footage of them ziplining on candy canes that they shot at a 720p fucking GoPro. Wow, that looks epic. They even find penguins, which don't live on the North Pole. And they run into animated gingerbread man voiced by Butch Hartman. And then Crocker murders one of them, and then they throw snowballs at them, and then it looks terrible. But turns out a wave of negative energy is making everybody depressed.
Oh, like what I feel all the time.
But then they cross the bridge, which is like really dangerous because there's a bridge in a movie, and then they find the elf with dwarfism, but it turns out that Timmy is on the naughty list because of its fucking autistic wishes. But it turns out that, unsparingly, the girl that had the unicorn in the third world country is start in the sky. The monster truck girl is destroying shit with the monster truck. Godzilla is destroying Tokyo, and the criminals still have all the stuff that they have. Even though I thought he, like, donated the stuff to him through magic. I guess Timmy, like, stole all the shit for him? I don't know.
It was an accident. Was it, Timmy?
Yeah, come on, that was an accident, much like me. So Timmy learns his lesson, and the moral here is, I guess, don't make stupid wishes. Like, I can't fucking do that in real life. Well, why is this incorporated? But since Cracker thinks that Timmy is a good person, he gets removed from the naughty list. But then they go back to the North Pole, they save Christmas, and not any of the people that he put in harm due to his stupid wishes, and Cracker flirts with a child.
So in essence, it was I who had saved everyone's lives on the bridge of bad.
So yeah, that was Fairly Odd Christmas. Overall, just watch Christmas every day instead, or Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh instead. Now, this movie is surprisingly a huge step up from its predecessor. It's not good by any standard, let alone the original, but it actually knows what it is. It's a dumb kids movie, and even if you've never seen The Fairly Odd Parents, or they were cut out of this movie entirely, I could see a kid legitimately enjoying this. Like, it's just like a bad Disney Channel, or in the future, Disney Plus movie. Like, let's just say The Ultimate Christmas Present, which I remember for some reason, which yeah, it's sucks. That's not high art or anything, but it's not horribly insulting and it makes sense in what is established. And here, I could see a kid actually liking this movie, much like I did when I watched it for the first time, even if it has nothing to do with the original show.
Cheese blaster coming through!
Kid cuisine! Just in time!
Okay, just stop and think for 1 second. Imagine if a bad CG penguin just came busting in your house with a hose full of fucking liquid cheese. That actually sounds pretty epic. I hope that happens to me. Oh shit, guys, I think it's actually happening. Holy shit.
Want a Sprite cranberry? The wrist clear. It's the thirstiest time of the year.
Fuck. Street Kids is a thing that exists. Back in 2002, there was a holiday special that aired once and was lost until 2015. It is known as Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa. Oh my god. Oh no. What the fuck? What the fuck? We're going to talk about is the animation, which is a particular aspect of the film that may have caught your attention. Now, this is the hands down the worst 3D animation I have ever seen in my life. Video Branquedo, company that made all those shitty bootleg that I might talk about in the future, better than this. There are early PS1 games that look better than this, and the designs are so bad you might notice some of the less obvious problems like the animation. This is called Rhapsody Street Kids. No, not Rap City as an efficiently enthusiastic or static expression of feeling. No, Rap City. Like, this is a city where people rap. Characters, I believe, are supposed to be kids. With a few exceptions, they look like teenagers because the proportions are so off and everything, and then necks move like they're broken. Like, look at the shot right here. The feet don't change shape when they take the ground, and they're kind of like glitching through it at the same time. Details about the animation. Look at this establishing shot. It looks horrible. The same couple tree PNGs are everywhere. Lake is like above the ground. Some of the houses are at impossible angles. Pretty much everything besides the buildings are like 2D images put onto a 3D environment. Also, the snow tracks, well, where are they? The snow falling was obviously added in post, but like, this movie came out in 2002. You know, I get that the CG standard wasn't as high in 2002. This just looks fucking dreadful. Okay, so what's the fucking plot of this movie? Why was there a bell when they just got out of school and they're nowhere near it? Oh, look at our other main character, Ricky, and he starts rapping.
Ready Santa Claus to start decking the halls with gifts from my Christmas list.
Really, Ricky? Rap music? We all know that rap music fucking sucks. Music was way better when John Lennon was beating his wife. Oh my god, the lip syncing on him just looked fucking awful.
2, 3 is all I see. 1, 2, 3, and no more.
Wait, okay, so you go to the store with the budget of the movie in your hand, and then you're pissed off that you can't buy anything there. So then we see Ricky walk past a house that's missing its door, and we learn that Ricky is a teddy bear that he got from his deceased parent, and he wants to give it to a girl named Nicole. And then we cut to Rhapsody Street Elementary, striving for excellence, even though they fucked up the spelling, which we proceed all the kids acting like assholes.
Extra cute. Then Mommy schedules me for my own hair lady. Smithy!
Wow, this just looks so fucking bad.
The one is faster. Don't you know I'm a Christmas tree blaster? Oh, recess!
Said no child in the history of anything ever. So we get to recess, where you guessed it, we get all the other kids acting like assholes. And there's this one kid named Smithy, who the design was obviously inspired by Kenny from South Park, with the gimmick being that you're never able to see his full face, even in a situation where it would be unnecessary to wear a big-ass park. Okay, but cutting back to recess, there's like a fucking blizzard outside, and maybe it's just my experience of growing up in the Midwest, but during the winter, we'd usually have indoor recess, and the rare occasion where we got to run around in the snow, it would be like the shitty melted snow that wasn't even useful, and sure as hell not while it was snowing out. Hey, maybe that's just my experience, but Smithy still loves his sandwich so much. Yeah, everyone's trying to take a sandwich and shit.
I'm gonna get you, Smithy! I'm gonna take your sandwich!
Yeah, they really want to eat that still soggy, cold, disgusting, bad CG sandwich. That looks fucking great.
Bring on the cheer.
Wow, I wonder if the artist that made that song ever saw the final product. Also, why is everyone dressed in the same way that they were inside? Like South Park, again, most of the characters are dressed like it's -4 degrees outside, even if it's in an unnecessary situation. You know, I don't really give a shit because South Park is actually entertaining.
This is for all the times I got grounded!
So we cut back to, you guessed it, all the kids acting like assholes.
Damn it! Oh, you'll be sorry! Nobody messes with my food and gets away with it!
Aw, come on, Smithy. Didn't your mommy teach you to share?
No!
No! Ow!
Wow, that looked fucking great. Also, Nancy Cartwright, what the hell? Okay, you probably know her from The Simpsons. I'd consider her one of the greatest voice actresses ever, but how the hell did they get her in this?
Ouch! Ow! Ow! Miss Parrington, get him away from me!
Get him away from me.
That means he likes you.
That's just a moral I really fucking hate.
Oh, you believe in Jesus now, huh, bitch? Well, good, because you about to meet him.
That means he likes you.
Bruh.
Also, you're an adult watching like 20 children. You're supposed to not let them hurt each other. So when Ricky gives Nicole the bear, and then she rejects it, and then Ricky goes back to his house, and then we meet the grandma.
You just got food in it.
Isn't that what Santa does? It was from my...
What the fuck? Why does she sound like that?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Did they get like the voice actor to show up for like a day on set? And then they just started recording, but then she had a stroke, and then they could never get her to show back up again, and they just used the stroke audio for what originally was supposed to be, you know, actual fucking words. Like, have you ever watched King of the Hill? Like, Boomhauer's entire joke is that he never speaks anything but partial gibberish.
Antiquities pursuant to the public domain, Title 970, State Resource Code, but I tell you what, man, they're tight. Boomhauer, I didn't understand a word you just said.
But at least in that show, which again is actually entertaining, he actually speaks a line of English again, and it usually makes sense in the context of the situation. So then Ricky goes to write a letter in the candlelight in the daytime, and then he somehow doesn't notice that he drops his letter. My god, the animation on it just looks fucking awful. And then we see Nicole, who has a musical number.
The best kid in the world. Look at me, look and you'll see just how good I can be.
Okay, besides the fucking awful lyrics, the cinematography looks like a 5-year-old got a hold of a surveillance system and they just fucked around with it for a few minutes. Nicole gets the letter that Ricky dropped, and then she invades her personal privacy, and then,
Oh no, Ricky. What have I done?
Okay, she likes Ricky now. Ricky, this fucking guy, that guy's not attractive, okay? If he was white, he would look like me. And then she gets a shitty crew together, and then they go to look for Ricky's teddy bear.
Oh, the Ice Queen. Hey, when you melt, your hair is gonna be a mess.
Oh wow, that looked fucking hot. Oh man, I've always wanted to be part of a satanic seizure threesome. What the fuck? Why are they popping up like that?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Anyway, some more nothing happens, and then guard dogs start chasing everybody. Now, this next scene just looks fucking hilarious. It's one of the most beautifully bad animated scenes I've ever seen in my life.
I have a great idea.
What? Have a picnic
picnic?
Just watch how smart I am.
And then they find the bear, which is on a car for some reason. Then we cut to nothing happening, and Tommy Pickles over here wants a pony.
I want a pony for Christmas. Santa can just put it in the backyard and tie it to the apple tree.
Actually, speaking of horses, if Little Nas X were to masturbate, wouldn't he blow his Old Town load? Hashtag Family Guy. Hashtag Family Guy funny moment. Hashtag LOL Family Guy. Hashtag South Park.
Then we get another song.
And help me understand. Daddy, are you sure that he's a special man? And there will always be a Santa if I believe in Santa. Daddy,
which has a problem with all the others. I'm not even going to address that.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Nicole!
Holy shit.
It's not true. That's impossible.
Mark Hamill. Luke fucking Skywalker is in this movie. Wait, Nicole brings a present for Ricky.
Nicole?
Santa made a terrible mistake. He sent this present to the wrong house. So I ran over here as fast as I could.
Banjo-Kazooie, more like Brian and Stewie. Hashtag Family Guy, hashtag Family Guy funny.
And this is still fucking going, so what the fuck? And then everybody meets up at the house because I guess their families are close or something. I've never really seen anyone do that.
Do you know what, Nicole? I never stopped believing in Santa.
What? What the fuck? Oh wait, the grandma speaks actual English now?
Christmas!
Oh no, wait, now she just started having a fucking stroke again. Oh no.
Wow!
Oh shit, everybody! Santa is coming in the fucking daytime.
And a Merry Christmas to all.
Shut that door.
Who the fuck shut the door? Everyone is standing over there. But then let's just cut to the end credits where it states, Rap City Street Kids will be back in A Bunny's Tale. Okay, this came out in 2002, and it's 2019.
It's finally over. Oh, thank God. This movie, it's stupid, it's lazy, it's fucking boring, the animation is terrible, the grandma sounds like Starvin' Marvin.
Whoa, that was cool! Yeah, how do you make those clicking sounds?
And then keep in mind, this was on TV. It only aired once, but imagine seeing 12 seconds of this fucking disaster where you're just flipping through channels. Like, I'm actually kind of curious. Was there anyone that saw, like, some part of this when it actually was on TV and was just thinking, like, what the hell? And then their memory repressed it, and then they found it on the internet several years later because this is a widely hated movie on the internet, which it completely deserves all the hate that it gets because it's that fucking bad. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Easily in the top 5. I've talked about it before, but this is hands down the worst Christmas movie ever. Like, no, just kidding. This movie's the best fucking movie ever made. Let's look at, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Does this have any quality family entertainment? No, it doesn't. Probably because this woman is a fucking whore. Anyway, I'm Dr. X Henry. And, holy shit, the decade's almost over. Pretty soon the Republicans are gonna resurrect Donnie Dump. We got tons of good stuff planned for 2020. Anyway, I'm Dr. X Henry, and I'm signing off.